So my name is Bryan Voltaggio. I own several restaurants in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. It all started with Volt back in 2008. That's when I opened my first restaurant in Frederick. I opened it in my hometown because it was, surrounded by like really great agriculture, and I knew the area, and I knew that there needed to be fine dining in Frederick because I found a lot of my guests when I was working in DC were coming down to DC to dine. And that was the start of it. And then shortly thereafter, I was on Top Chef season 6. And so I think that, people got to know me a little bit more, which created a lot of great opportunities. What Range is a celebration of Mid-Atlantic ingredients. It's nose-to-tail dining. It's produce from our backyard. And it's done in a grand way. Like this restaurant has all these little small kiosk kitchens. We have our own patisserie, bake all of our own breads. We have a full butcher program. We cure meats. So we utilize the entire product and we get it in its raw format, and so that's what Range is really about. In Frederick, Maryland, where I grew up, our house backed to a farm. So I grew up with produce around. Like when the farmer would harvest the corn, it was sweet corn, fortunately, and the neighborhood would kind of get together and shuck corn and make cream corn and do all of these things that we would get from the farmer, who was our neighbor. It was really cool. So there's a sense of community. We always had a backyard garden. So farming was always like around me. Beyond having all of these restaurants, one of the other greatest things about, becoming, having a greater audience, because of the show is the fact that I got to do a lot of charity work. Hunger was the one that I think that I attracted myself to most because, as a chef, I feel like I can cure that already, I'm a cook, I cook food to give to hungry people, and it just seemed like a natural fit. I actually went down and helped pass legislation in the state of Maryland to enable at-risk schools to get breakfast meals. So every morning there's food provided in the class whether a child has the means to have it or not, meaning at home. And so it was a great accomplishment, and it's actually been a model that they're using in a lot of different states and cities now. I also became somewhat of a cyclist over the last summer. I haven't really ever gotten on a bike, and so in 6 weeks I trained to take this 300-mile ride from New York to DC. And what it was to raise money and awareness for Share Strength. And we actually got to stop at one of the schools in Baltimore. And so I saw this breakfast meal in action. Like we went there first morning, this food was there, the kids were eating it. They were responsive, aware, conversational, wanted to talk to the chefs, they're excited we were there. And it was good to see that connection because it made me want to do more. And somehow I rode 300 miles on a bike, which I've never done before in my entire life. It was back-to-back, 100-mile days. And so it was good. It was great to do. Range is as close to a steakhouse you can be, but it's done in a new way. It is, a la carte dining with additional side dishes, but we have a huge offering on our menu because we're utilizing product and we're able to do it in many different ways throughout the menu, where you can come in and share food with friends and family and have large format dishes, or you can come in and actually get, a more, choreographed menu for one even. And so, that's what Range is. It's a range of everything.